Canopy MLS members. Thank you for joining me today to go over the Supra Intermediate class. Our focus today will be on customizing lockbox settings for your specific listing. If you'd like to follow along, please pull out your phone and open up the Supra eKEY app. Later on in the program, we're going to take a look at SupraWEB, which is the laptop or desktop version of your Supra account. The first thing we're going to take a look at is at the very top of your app, it's going to say welcome, and then you'll see the eKEY serial number. Supra identifies Canopy MLS as Carolina MLS DBA Canopy MLS. You will need this information when you're first logging into SupraWEB. This information is also nested under the More tab in About eKEY app and also in the My Keys setting. Anytime you're within the app and you want to get back to your home page, there is a house icon on the top right. So we're going to take a look at My Lockboxes first. And it's critical that you add your lockbox to your inventory so you can add your customized settings. So you can add that two ways. You can click on Add Keybox to Inventory. You can add the shackle code, and then you press up on the bottom of the lockbox to activate the Bluetooth. You'll see that the red light is blinking, and once it connects to your app, you will be able to see this information in your lockbox inventory. And this is a list of your inventory. The second way to add your lockbox to your inventory is when you're opening up the shackle. You can do this at the same time that you add your lockbox to your listing. You click on Open Shackle. You're going to add the shackle code. You'll select a reason, but you'll notice it says Add My Lockbox to Inventory right here. You'll toggle that on. And then you will add your reason. If you're adding it to your listing right away, go ahead and select the MLS number, not the house number. And the reason why I recommend that is just perchance there is another listing in the same parameter that has the same house numbers, the app will connect to the correct listing. Then you'll select Begin, press up on the bottom of the lockbox. Once the lockbox and your Supra eKEY app connect via Bluetooth, you will compress the shackle will release easily, and when you replace the shackle, you will place that in with a little click. Remember, when you're replacing the lockbox key container, make sure it glides in easily, and the key container does need to be in place in order for this to work. Once your lockbox has connected, you'll see some basic information here. Once you release the shackle, then you will land on a page that looks like this. You will want to check your battery level to make sure that it has more than 20%, so it will last throughout the life of the listing. You have some other information here that you can adjust on your edit page. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the house icon. I'm going to go ahead and look at all the different things that we can do to customize those lockbox settings. So under Program Lockbox, you do need to have your lockbox present. You will check the battery level. And if you do want to change that shackle code, you can do that, but I don't recommend that if you are borrowing your lockbox from your front desk. You might cause a few issues if you do that. However, if you own your own lockbox, feel free to do so. You can add the new shackle code and verify it, and then hit save. Anything you do in this section, you do need to program by connecting to the Bluetooth. So if you'd like to add a call before showing code, this is an extra layer of security. You can enable that by toggling that on, and you can also customize that 7-digit code. And keep in mind that if you are adding this code, the buyer agent or appraiser or affiliate will have to add their PIN code and that 7-digit code. And here's a reminder, any codes that you have, your lockbox codes, building codes, gate codes, maybe an alarm code, all of these codes You should always put those in showing time and never in an MLS field. It's a security thing. If you'd like to toggle on require feedback, you can do that here. If you need to change the time that someone can access your lockbox, you can do that here. You do need to toggle on your timed access first. And then you can select the time frame to change. So let's say your seller is not a morning person. You can change that 7 a.m. to, let's say, 1 p.m. Select save. And then remember, you do need to program that if you're going to do that. Let's say your seller does not want any showings on Sunday. All you have to do is select that toggle and no access will be allowed at all. In your showing time settings, you can block off time frames. However, that's not a guarantee that someone might access your lockbox. By adjusting these settings here, that guarantees another agent, affiliate, or appraiser won't be able to access that lockbox, or even a non-member. So if you do adjust these times, another person cannot access that lockbox at all. So now we've taken a look at program lockbox. Let's take a look at edit lockbox data. You can add your business card information here. If you are borrowing this lockbox, you'll want to delete that when you turn your lockbox in. This is your MLS listing information. You can add your MLS number here. If you do get to the closing table on this listing, you can delete that by tapping on the number, selecting your backspace bar, and then backing out of that number. And if you have a new listing, you can add the new MLS number here, and then that will assign this lockbox to your new listing. You can add your organization information here. And then if you'd like to use the listing flyer and agent note feature, this will pop up when the buyer agent accesses your listing. So you can say something like, leave your business card on the counter, or turn off lights and shut the doors, lock the doors. You can say, thank you for showing my listing, or wear booties, the floors have just been polished, or don't let the cat out of the closet. You have the option to go ahead and add your notes here. So the final section of this lockbox customization page is grant managed access. Grant managed access is when you can allow a non-member to go into your listing. Before you use this feature, check with your office to ensure that this is allowed with the office policy. Communicate with your sellers in writing so you have something to put in the listing folder. And then if you need to check to see if the non-member has registered or is eligible to be registered, you can add their phone number here, and then you'll select that eligibility bar here. Verify that the listing information is correct, and then select a date and time. So the time needs to be 2 hours to 72 hours in advance. And then you can add some notes here. You can add notes like, don't let the cat out of the back room, please use booties, leave a business card, or please call me when you have the results of the inspection you were doing. So you can add any note that you like there. And then you'll select send. That will send a link, a text link over to that non-member. The non-member does need to register while they're in Wi-Fi or cell service. And once they register, they'll click on that link a second time, and they'll be able to agree to terms and conditions, select their 4-digit PIN number, and they'll be able to access the app upon the appointed time that you have specified. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is our showing notification bar. In order for you to receive a showing notification, you have to enable them in your settings, and you have to allow permissions within the app settings. So when you first signed up for Supra, you were prompted to allow permissions for notifications. So if you toggled that off, you can go back into your phone settings and readjust that. The place that you would turn it on is under More and under Settings, and you'll see that you can toggle this on here. So let's go ahead and tap on the showing notification. And this just states when someone has accessed your lockbox. You have a legend at the top that explains what the icons mean, the start of the showing, the end of the showing, if a showing has timed out, or if you're getting feedback on that listing. If you click on that showing notification, you'll get some more details. Now I'm going to show you the limited version of SupraWEB that is offered within the app. Remember where that eKEY serial number is? Yes, that's right. It's at the top of the page. You're going to need that for this next step. So you're going to click on More. You're going to click on SupraWEB. You're going to add your eKEY serial number and your PIN code. And then you're going to click on that down arrow and select Carolina MLS, DBA Canopy MLS as your association or MLS. And you can log in. At the very top of the page, you'll have an update code. So if you forget to update your app before you go to a remote area, you can always get an update code here. If you are planning on getting a new phone and you need an authorization code to enter into your new phone so your Supra app will work, you can add that here by clicking here. That'll send you an email direct to your new phone in your email program. Your email reports consist of all of your listings, all of your key activity, and your specific lockbox. So if perchance you do have someone go into your listing and they did not have a confirmed appointment, then you can select the specific lockbox you'd like the report on. And remember, make your appointments and make sure you could get your appointments confirmed before you access a lockbox. If you do need further assistance, you may email compliance@canopyrealtors.com. You can also check your lockbox inventory. You can create that report and it goes straight to your email. You may assign a listing through SupraWEB. You'll select the available lockbox from this list. The serial number and the shackle code is provided for you. You'll add the MLS number and select Assign. If you did toggle on feedback, you will get those reminders in this page here. And managed access is not part of our service level. So that is all I have for you for the Supra eKEY app. Now we're going to log into our laptop by putting www.suprasystems.com in the address bar on a browser. So now that you've entered www.suprasystems.com, you'll select SupraWEB for agents. The very first time that you log into SupraWEB, you will need to create an account. You'll want to register. This system does not recognize any other usernames or passwords you have with Canopy MLS. So let's go ahead and take a look at the registration page. You'll enter some basic information here. You're going to select a username, and it can be your MLS ID. If you'd like to try that, all you have to do is click the rectangle check, and it will check across the nation to see if anyone else has used that user ID. If it has been used, maybe add your initials at the end of your MLS ID. Your password, if you hover over the blue information bubble, you'll get the parameters for your password. This one begins with a letter and has to have at least 8 characters. If you do use a symbol, then you are limited to the period, the hyphen, the underscore, or the @ symbol. You'll answer your challenge questions and then add the code and select Submit. The very first time that you log into SupraWEB, the system is going to ask you for that eKEY serial number. That eKEY serial number is located at the top of your Supra eKEY app. You'll add your eKEY serial number, your PIN number, and then you will select Carolina MLS, DBA Canopy MLS listed underneath the North Carolina section. So let's go ahead and log in. Your login dashboard for SupraWEB looks something like this. This whole list of information here is a list of everyone who has gone in and out of any lockbox that I have on any listing. If you'd like more information on what the icons mean, there's a legend here at the bottom. Let's take a look at some of the links that are available to you under the Quick Links tab. You'll have that update code in case you need an update code when you go out to a remote area. If you need that authorization code, that one's here for you as well. If you'd like to change your PIN number, you do need to know your original PIN number before you can change it. If you need help with that, you can contact me, Member Services, or MLS support on Saturdays. If you'd like to set up your eKEY alerts, you can do so here. That is that special feature on your app that can help you out if you get into a situation that's uncomfortable and you need some outside assistance. I talk more about that in our advanced class coming up soon. And then how to add a lockbox to your inventory in SupraWEB. We're going to go ahead and click on this link. And you can add the lockbox serial number here, add the shackle code. And if you have a listing you need to assign it to right away, you can add that MLS number here and then select add lockbox. And now that lockbox will be added to your lockbox inventory. So let's take a look at our entire inventory by clicking on the lockbox link. So this is every lockbox that I have in my inventory, whether it's assigned to a listing or not. And you'll see there's going to be some more icons. Look at the bottom to review the legend to understand what these symbols mean. So now we need to assign a listing to a lockbox that's already in our SupraWEB inventory. Click on the drop-down arrow, select your lockbox you're working with, and then all you have to do is add that MLS number and assign it. So I'm going to go ahead and go back up to my lockboxes. And you can see there's a couple places where I can select that X icon. That means you're deleting the lockbox from your inventory. If you'd like to remove an assignment from your lockbox, all you have to do is click on listings. Click on the MLS number that you're working with, and then you'll see on the left-hand sidebar that you can unassign the listing here, or you can delete the lockbox from your inventory right here. So that concludes our overview of how to customize a lockbox in SupraWEB. So I have a few pro tips for you. If you are going to be showing property, or if you have a listing in a remote area, always update your app. That's the very bottom center command, update. So you'll want to update in cell phone coverage before you go out to the remote area. And then when you get to your listing, you'll want to ensure that your Bluetooth is connected. And if you're having trouble connecting, maybe disconnect from any other Bluetooth items, like perhaps your watch or your car speakers, your car phone. If you are listing a property and you know it's in a remote area, a good practice would be to add that to your notes, your agent remarks, to remind buyers' agents to update their app before they go out to the listing. That'll save you a phone call, and that will save them a phone call and a lot of aggravation. So here are some phone numbers where if you need some assistance, you may call my phone number or text me at 828-318-8888. Our member services is available between 8:30 and 4, Monday through Friday. If you need some assistance on Saturday, MLS support can help you with some items between 8:30 and 3 o'clock. And you always have Supra support within just a few clicks within your Supra eKEY app. Select more, select About eKEY app, and about 2/3 of the way down the page, you'll find the Supra support number. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in a class real soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.